Hi everyone, welcome again on our channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the Mercury retrograde and share some of my personal tips I was trying during this most recent season we have. Um, so I just realized that there is so much confusion that can happen on emotional level, that can happen within your connections. It can happen also on an individual level, so the way you act towards yourself, and also it will surface into outer world, so all the connections that you have around yourself during that time. So most of the time, when you progress in your journey more and more, you will start realizing that Mercury retrogrades and in general movements of the planets will start affecting you, and it might be useful at some point to dive into astrology, for example, a little bit, just to try to understand those processes better, because I think those are all tools. It doesn't make sense to maybe blindly follow them, but understanding what happens on this, I would say, astrological level or universal level helps to navigate that a little bit more. So, with this, I wanted to talk about how we can navigate those emotional sides that can emerge, because there is normally during retrogrades you will be having some triggers regarding either some unhealed wounds, some past experiences that you have to replay, relive with your partner or within your family, for example. So you may see that there are those situations, that those triggering situations can start emerging during these retrograde seasons. So some of the tips I have is during this time to listen to your emotions. Don't try to suppress them, but look into them and just use this retrograde time. Normally, this is like more slower pace. You can realize that those situations seems to come in a time that you have more time to focus on yourself. Maybe at work, it's just kind of general slows down. Your life seems to give you the space to withdraw and create those opportunities for you to look inside and just um, go to the next step to really look into what kind of unhealed issues you still have and how to address them. So with all this, you cannot suppress those emotions that you observe, but instead you should acknowledge them and try to understand. Like, it can happen that sometimes there will be some triggers on a family level. You will see some conflicts within your family members, or there will be some negative emotions towards either your partner or people around. So those are showing you some of the unhealed wounds that you should address. Um, and most importantly, I wanted to talk about the connections that you can have with your partner, because it's really important to, as I said, acknowledge those emotions, but also not to hide anything within the connection, because you may be tempted, for example, to hide something just to try to process those things on your own, because you don't want to put additional pressure in the connection, or you don't want to risk showing your negative sides, for example. Um, but if you do that, it means that you're not able to fully uncover all of your sides in front of your partner. So that will create some some misunderstandings, maybe some confusions, because, for example, if you go through those periods, obviously your emotional state can be very much influenced by those seasons. So your partner will realize that, oh, you're starting to act a little bit differently than you acted before, and he or she may be a little bit confused. So it's our responsibility during those times to stay true to ourselves. Just if you feel the need to withdraw, give yourself the space, but also inform your partner that you may need this space for yourself, and don't be afraid to speak about your needs, because you may realize that during that time you will have this need to really spend more time with yourself, maybe even go somewhere for a few days just to look internally what happens with you during that time. So instead of hiding those things, you should really be open with your partner, just to explain to them, how do you feel? Like, maybe you have some issues like you still try to address, but give them this explanation, be open with that. So not to confuse, not to create more confusion within the connection, just try to explain to them and try to understand them better, and understand it by both sides. um, at the same time, I would say it's important also to detach from those emotions that you observe in yourself, and as much as you can be observer on of your state, it can help you to tackle this period, because it will help you to see that from this objective perspective, and not to be caught up in emotional response. So you will not be acting on from the side of your anger or irritation or frustration. You will be trying to understand the processes and see, okay, what, why the issue emerges, like what does it show me as a person or as a human being on this journey, like where I'm stuck. um, Providing these explanations to yourself and just giving this time to observe yourself will also give you this freedom. Like you will stop judging yourself, you will stop feeling guilty that those lower states emerge, and at the same time that it will be freeing the space, because you will stop judging yourself. You will acknowledge that, okay, there is still some issues I have to address, but that's okay, I'm not perfect. And please just during this time don't feel guilty about that. We are not perfect here, and we are just trying our best. But if you would stay in the highest levels all the time, you would never grow anymore on your journey. So I think those retrograde seasons, especially, they give us this time to look inside and just address whatever is there still to heal. Um, One more thing I wanted to address is to find maybe this courage in you to speak about your needs, speak for yourself, and really not be afraid of showing this darkest part of yourself to the partner. Because I understand it's easy to maintain this balanced connection where everything is smooth, everything is beautiful, you have all these butterflies, but this is a comfort zone. And I think especially those difficult moments are the best tests for the connection. So you have to be courageous enough to speak about your needs, because it will show you two things. If you're true to yourself and you express your emotions, express your needs for maybe space or time, just you can spend on yourself, and the partner will understand. It will show you that you can get through those rough periods openly. You can just communicate on them. And at the same time, it will tell you about the maturity in both, in you and your partner. So I think those difficult times are the best way to test your connection, just to see if you both did your work and you both can withstand those difficulties, because it will never be pink all the time. There will always be bumps on the way. So I think it will give you this reassurance that the person you're with is able to withstand with you hand by hand those difficult moments. Um, and finally, I wanted also to to remind you that you're doing it to yourself. Basically, by addressing those issues, just giving yourself this compassion during those difficult times, you're freeing space. You feel like you can stay true to yourself no matter what. Um, y- your only task is to be responsible for the energies that are emerging, and just be able to navigate the emotions and address them, observe them. Because honestly, if there is no such thing as bad emotions, they always come for a purpose. So if it's getting uncomfortable, just don't get too attached of the on the experience itself. It always tells you something, that there was maybe even you were clearing something for your family line, or maybe for the collective. So that's another thing for you to be mindful of, that some of those things that will be emerging during the retrograde season, that will be coming from collective, because maybe you did enough work on your own so you can reach the next step and start helping collective or maybe someone in your family to heal some of their wounds. um, I just want you to maybe be mindful that it's not up to us to be healers of everyone. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to recognize, is this energy that I'm feeling right now, is it mine? Is it related to my trauma and my things that I have still to heal? Or maybe I just picked up on someone else. Because this is important. Sometimes you can get stuck on the issues that are not really yours. You just heard about someone in your environment that has some problems, and you try to solve those issues for them. So something that to keep in mind as well. um, so with this, I wanted just to conclude, um, during the Mercury retrograde seasons, it's never wasted time when you give yourself a space and time to reconsider your actions, look back into yourself. If you feel a need to withdraw because you're going through some emotional ups and downs, maybe you even feel disconnected from your inner self, um, this is a chance for you to observe yourself and really test your abilities, how you can act without the support, how much you've grown on your journey, and can you be independent in this path, in this journey. Because clearly, we don't want to get dependent on other people, but at the same time, we cannot be dependent all the time on the energies, on our higher guidance. So those will be the moments that you may feel disconnected from the universe, from these energies. um, but there's nothing to be afraid of, really. Those moments just give you the time to test yourself. But once the test is done, the lessons are learned, you will be able to get to the next stage. And there will be always some kind of a clearing that will happen during this retrograde time. So that was just a quick experience I wanted to share with you, and I will be happy to answer any questions you have about that. And if you have any ideas for the topic, let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you.